Uh, I think the biggest USP of the project is it's the largest of its kind so far in the states of Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, with close to 2,500 apartments being built in about 24 plus acres of land. And the other USP is that it is pre-rated, pre-certified for gold. And one of the basis for that rating is also the fact that we have close to 14 acres of open area for this project. For perspective, that could be, you could say, equivalent to a round in KBR Park, probably 3 rounds in the KBR Park, the most famous Hyderabad park for people who want to take the morning walks. And then it's adjacent to about 2,400 acres of Hyderabad Central University land, which has lots of lung spaces inside. There's absolutely no development there. And so there'll be fresh air for people in this project. And the other border is obviously the lake, the Nallagandla lake, which always has water, come rain or shine. And a combination for people who would want to stay closer to the city but at the same time have good quality of life, being closer to nature. So far from all the projects that we have done, this should be one of the highlights in our 22-year history. And then what we have also tried to see is that make sure people have apartments for their needs. So we have apartment sizes starting from 1275 square feet all the way up to 2800 square feet. So depending on the budget requirements, depending on the size requirements, there are great variations in sizes to cater to the different tastes and preferences of customers, right? And the other thing is obviously the gold certification. That's also the largest project of its size in residential space that has been certified for gold and pre-certified for gold actually. And we would intend to get a final certification for gold as well. The project that is bordering this, which is called Aparna Sarovar Grande, is platinum rated. So our intention is to minimize the impact on the environment when you're taking this kind of large scale projects, which also ensures that our customers are happy that they're buying a project that is made with a lot of environmental consciousness. What it also does is the quality of life for the customers within the apartment itself is also enhanced because for this green rating we have to ensure or rather the prerequisites is that there has to be a lot of cross ventilation, to have enhanced airflow inside, to have a lot of sunlight coming in, to prevent electricity usage during the day. Also the materials that are used to prevent heat accumulation, which also minimizes the air conditioning that needs to be used, right? And the fixtures that are used within the apartment itself to minimize water usage and electricity consumption as well. So all in all, for a person who is booking an apartment here, the quality of life, both environmentally speaking as well as physically and emotionally, is going to be very good. So Nallagandla itself was a sleepy little village or forested area, I would say, about 10 years ago. And right now it's a very bustling mini city in itself. It's very close to the financial district and the high-tech city. And what is helping it is the new 100 feet road that's coming up, connecting it to the outer ring road that again takes you to the airport as well as to the financial district itself, where all the IT companies are and the financial companies are. So apart from that, there's a Hyderabad Central University. Then we have schools that have come up there. There's a hospital very next to our project. So in case of emergencies, they can always go and visit this hospital. And we ourselves are coming up with a mall, a nice neighborhood boutique mall that should cater to all the retail requirements and the weekend requirements where people would want to come and watch movies and have good food. So this mall is going to have all of that. And we're also planning to come up with an IT space as well. So close to work, close to home, and in the lap of nature, I would say. In terms of infrastructure, you have office spaces coming up, you have mall coming up, a lot of residential activity already happening there, and it is very close to the high-tech city and financial district to talk of, and the connectivity to the outer ring road. So this should be one area on people's map when they're deciding to buy their first house. One of the biggest plus points for this company has always been the fact that we maintain our projects. We have a separate arm called Aparna Project Management Services that is staffed with very well experienced people. In fact, that's one of the larger residential property management companies in Hyderabad, and we exclusively manage only our properties. So currently, it's about close to 12 million square feet that's being managed by this company, with more than 1,000 plus people on its rolls. So the idea is to ensure that whatever projects we're delivering to our customers, even though we take utmost care to deliver in terms of quality, there'll always be some teething problems initially when projects of these sizes are handed to the customers. So the intention was to ensure that there's a seamless transition between the construction team to the maintenance team, and when it's in-house, this transition is even more seamless. And then, if there are any of these teething issues, we would manage to solve these and ensure that the customer's life is not affected. So it started from there, and then we initially were doing 2 years prepaid maintenance. But it has so happened that after the 2 years maintenance, our customers love our maintenance so much that they renew, and instead of going to these bigger players like JLL and others, they always come back to us for managing the projects. So, which is why close to 12 million square feet is currently being managed through the APMS arm, and they have won various awards for their maintenance services, whether it's with regard to maintaining the gardens and the podiums. Various biodiversity awards were awarded to APMS in that area, or whether it's in terms of maintaining the common areas itself. The residents are generally very happy, which is testament to the area under maintenance and to the renewal cycle that happens periodically between these projects and APMS itself. We also control the downstream part of the business. So we have a separate sister arm called Aparna Enterprises, where most of the construction inputs are taken from. So there we ensure quality is always maintained. For example, RMC is done in-house, tiles is being done in-house, tiles that we use in our projects. The bricks, the cement bricks are done in-house, the paver bricks are done in-house, the UPVC windows that are used, they are done in-house. So in most of these, because they're being done in-house, we ensure that quality is maintained. Apart from this, all the externally sourced inputs, we subject them to more than 240 different kinds of tests. So that's one thing that I need to highlight. More than 240 different kinds of tests are done on these externally sourced inputs to ensure the quality and consistency is maintained throughout the project life cycle. And because we are confident of our quality, even before RERA came into the picture, when builders were supposed to give a minimum guarantee on the construction quality, we were already offering this. We were giving close to 5 years of construction guarantee. So in case there is any problems after handover within 5 years, we would always do it free of cost. Affordable housing is becoming mainstream. In fact, for most of the developers to grow in scale, that's one of the options that they're looking at, because of the heavy concentration of builders in the upper middle class and or rather the upper middle segment and the luxury segment. The acute shortage of housing is in the affordable segment, and that is where most of the bigger builders are concentrating on now. Of course, what has also helped is the fact that government is constantly talking about affordable housing, and it has entered into the mainstream consciousness of most of these buyers as well. And a lot of buyers coming in into this segment with their first jobs, and it is becoming a viable option because of this scale in buying that is coming in into the market. Now, what is also helping is the fact that there's a lot of technological advances as well in terms of building these structures and trying to minimize the costs while maintaining quality. So that has helped, and obviously the government's focus on trying to make it into, or rather giving it infrastructure status and some tax breaks for low cost housing, and the infrastructure status for low cost housing, as well as in the affordable housing, tax breaks for the or interest break for the customers. Both of these are helping the customers make their decisions and pushing them to make their first purchase in this segment. Now, as the volume goes up, it becomes more viable for bigger players like us to enter and then deliver, because the margins are very thin in the segment and only volumes help roll over. So, as the volumes goes up, it becomes a more viable proposition for builders like us, which is why we're looking into entering this segment in a big way. We are planning to come up with close to 5 million square feet, which we should probably announce in the next 6 to 8 months for this particular segment in Hyderabad. It's a combination of all three. So I would say no one particular reason plays a big role. Each has its own place in terms of making this market a viable proposition for builders. The fact that the government has now spoken in a big way about affordable housing kind of makes it acceptable for the banks as well for funding, as well as for people trying to make their big house. So it removes that. And the example from the government side being that government offering interest incentives for people to purchase their first homes in the affordable segment, going almost up to 2.5 to 3 lakhs, and that's a big incentive for people to nudge them into purchasing their first home. And when bigger players enter, that quality aspect is taken care of, and the certainty for the bankers also in terms of completion of the project. So then it becomes a virtuous cycle where the bankers, the builders, and the customers then bring the confidence into each other, and then the cycle goes forward.